Hi, this is Tasha the Crafty Kraut, and I'm going to try to zoom in here. I'm going to show you how to make poppy gum paste flowers. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a round or an oval cookie cutter. You're going to need a veining mat, or this is for a stem mat. You're going to need a veining tool. This is like a little plastic thing. You put the flower on there and you press it and it'll imprint the veins of it. You're going to need gum paste, a roller, my little spatula, and a ball tool. And I have taken some gum paste and I put it in hot water to make glue. That way you don't have to buy glue. I have some cornstarch, some Crisco, and a deviled egg carton or a deviled egg holder. And I'm going to use this to put my flowers in so that they can dry. So here's what you're going to do. You want to keep your gum paste covered, so I have mine under a cup. You're going to roll your gum paste. You want to make sure when you're not using the gum paste that you keep it covered, because it does dry out pretty quick. I just have this little mat that I use to do my work on. And you're going to roll out your gum paste. You want it pretty thin. I'm not sure if you can see here, but when you roll it out, you'll see the vein is a little darker. So you want to make sure it's nice and even. Now I've taken my round cutter and I squeezed it together a little bit to make it a little more oval. And then I'm going to line up the bottom part with the place where the stem will be. Okay. So put that back in there. Okay. So now I'm going to pick up my flower, and this is what the back of it's going to look like. It's going to have this little flap here. Oh, and you do need some flower wire, and you can buy that at Joann's or Michael's. And what you're going to do is you're going to insert the stem here. You want to make sure that it does not show through the front, and then I just pat mine down. And you want to dip it into your gum paste liquid so you can use it as glue. Now I put it on my impression mat, and now I'm going to firmly push down, and now it has an impression. So now I'm going to put it on my little mat here, and I'm going to use my roller, and I'm just going to roll at the very ends of it. So your roller is going to be half on the flower and half on the mat, and I'm just going to roll all the way down. Okay. All right. And so that's what it'll look like. Kind of hard to see. So this is what it's going to look like. And now I'm making a lot of them, so I have a couple deviled egg holders. So I'm going to put it in here. Now I'm going to push down at the base of the stem, and I'm just going to fold it over, and I'm going to let these dry. And sometimes it'll go over, but that's okay. So as you can tell, they're kind of hard to see because they're white, but you want to start out with a white flower, and then you can color it any color you want. If you want to start out with a darker, if you want a red rose, you can start out with red, but it's going to be a little more hard to kind of make it pop, to add color, unless you make it like a dark, dusty rose. So we're going to repeat this. And the poppies, there's a bunch of different ways to do them. I've seen some on the internet. Some of them have 6 petals, some of them have 3 petals. Mine, they have about, I guess I use about 7 to 8 petals. So you want to dip your stem into the water. You want to dry it off a little bit. You don't want it too wet, and then you want to insert it here. And you want to do it as close to the back as possible so you don't see it through the front. And squeeze it. Yeah, that one's a little better. Now they are very delicate, so just work quick and be very careful. And I'm just doing one at a time. You can get like a pasta roller and roll out your gum paste, and I guess cut a bunch of them at one time, bunch of them at one time, and then just work it. You just got to make sure that you keep them covered with a heavy silicone or some kind of mat so that they don't dry out while you're working on them. Okay, this one, oops, having a little trouble with this one here. Okay. All right, so that's how you do it, and then I will show you the next step once these flowers are dry. So what you want to do, you want to let them dry at least overnight. That way they're nice and hard. You can paint them once it's together. And again, once I'm done with this, I'll show you how to make this stamens, I believe it's called, the inside part of the flower. And I'm going to actually do that with thread. It'll actually looks pretty neat. So I'll come back and show you how you do that. But for right now, go ahead and make your petals, and I'll see you back in a few. Okay, so now for the stamen part, for the black little fuzzy parts, you're going to take some thread. It's just regular sewing thread. And you're going to wrap it around 2 of your fingers, and you're going to wrap it around about 40 to 60 times, depending on how thick you want the stamen. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I did 60. So now I'm going to take some wire. This is just a real thin flower wire that's white. First I'm going to take my little black centers that I made, and I'm going to try to get it into the center as much as I possibly can. So I'm just going to, it's a little tricky, because you just want to get the bottom part of the thread. You don't want both loops. I'll show you. It might be easier to just do it than to explain it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the top to make the, alright, so it's going to be like this. And it's in the middle, I have the little black center, and now I'm just going to try to wrap this around the wire that I already have the flower in. I'll be able to manipulate it. So I'm going to try to pinch down as far as I can. Now I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to just wrap it all together. This is a little difficult to do. Might be easier if you have help, but anyways. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. It might be a bad angle, but all right. Okay. All right, so I have that wrapped around there, and now you see I can manipulate the little fuzzy things around my center. And I can make them, longer or short. I can push it up and make it longer. And then what I'll do is I'll just trim that once I get it kind of separated everywhere. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'm going to trim. Try to get it even around. You can make them long, you can make them short, however you want. You can make it thicker if you want. Some of mine are thick, some of mine are thin. So that's the way it looks. It's kind of hard to tell. Actually, here, maybe if I put it against the white, you can see. Okay. So I have that. Now I'm going to take my my petals, and I'm doing big ones right now. This is a big center. So I'm going to take my petals, and you want to kind of bend it as close to the actual petal as you can. Just be careful because they are breakable. I mean, they're pretty pliable once once they're dry, but you still want to be a little careful. So you can do one petal at a time. What I like to do, so I don't have as much tape, so the stem's not as thick, is I like to try to get at least 3 petals on before I tape. So and then you can come in and fix the center. Okay. So that's what it looks like. And now you want to get your tape. This is like floral tape. This came in the Wilton kit, so it's food safe, food grade safe, I believe, I would think, or they wouldn't have it in there. So you just want to wrap it around just a few times just to get it to stay. And so now I have, and you can, manipulate this in the middle. You can close them, you can open them however you want. You can open it up a little bit if you want. And then I'm going to add 3 more on that next level. And what I do is I kind of add it where the flower, where the separation is between the 2 petals. So I do the same thing. I try to add 3 petals at a time. And again, you want to do that where the gap would be. And every petal looks a little different, so you can pick and choose the way you want it to look. If you want it more frilly, less frilly, however you want it. So just for an idea, here is this one. And now I'm going to tape these 3 on. Okay. And then once I have it taped, I'm just going to go around just a few times just to stabilize it. And then you can change it around. So that's 6. You can make these 7 or 8. You can make 6 petals, 4 petals, however you want. Again, I'm going to try to get these a little... I'm still going to come back and paint these, so I'm not too worried about the centers right at this second. All right. And then I think I might just add 2 more. And you just gotta play with it and see where you think it's gonna look best, the petals. That looks good. All right, and then once you have them all the petals that you want to do this as tight as you can without tearing, of course, the tape, and tape it all the way down. So just keep twisting. You want to make sure all the wire is taped. Okay. And then once you're done, just pull the rest of it off. And there you go. And now, once you have it the way you want it, you can kind of manipulate the petals. And there is your flower. And I'm going to continue to make some more of these. Make some small ones. I think I have enough for a few more big ones. So you can kind of play with it. You can make bigger petals and just do 4 petals. You can make smaller petals, however you want. I mean, it's endless. Just be very careful with the petals because they are delicate, but you can handle them pretty well.